Hi Tejasvi, hi Devin.
Hi, Surya.
By the way, guys, let us know ki whosoever is running an agency or you are into freelance or trying to get into freelance, you can comment here, add your comment here, so that Diksha can also know that who is inside the session. So nice. I see Shashank is into freelancing. What about all of you guys? Devin, Ritesh sir. I know Ritesh sir runs an agency. What about Tejasvi?
Yeah, like me and Diksha are working together. I'm the co-founder of the same agency.
Okay, cool.
We're closing 1 year this Sunday. Tejas and I.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
Hi, Shay.
Hi, Shrey.
Hi Shrey.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Hi Rajita.
Oh, there are so many people we are not familiar with yet. We have to get to know each other a lot.
For sure. Uh, you can connect with them all on Filler Community. It's
Yeah,
there for
I have
that
some
only.
kind yeah, I'm interacting with people, but like few names are kind of new for me.
Yeah, yeah.
For Tejasvi, names are new almost all the time, unless she has like interacted with them for a million times.
Yeah, I get confused with the names a lot.
Hi, Chelsea.
Hi Chelsea.
Hi,
Hi, how
Chelsea.
are you? How are you guys doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Great. Diksha, I saw you for the first time
Oh,
in the meetings. Probably
It's
like
actually totally different from
on
your profile
camera.
picture, actually.
On camera, yeah. That's why.
yeah. I
Yeah,
usually
different
don't.
kinds of variations in every platform.
Cool. I guess many people have joined. Surya, we can start, I guess.
I guess we can
Please go easy on me.
We should wait.
wait for 1 2 minutes more. I guess.
Okay, chalo.
Yeah, like
Done.
wait for 5 minutes more. Usually people join by
Hi,
1 minute
Swani.
or something.
Hi Swani.
Hi, Swani.
Hi.
And else how कैसा रहा दिन सबका? Anyone interested in cricket match? कोई ऐसा है जिसको क्रिकेट मैच पसंद हो देख रहा हो ऐसा कुछ कोई?
No.
आप देख रहे थे
Some
सर?
of us have to be
Interested is
interested in
10.
cricket match.
By the way, guys, those who don't know, today is India and Australia's match. What's the score,
हार
by
गई
the way,
हार गई
Surya?
है.
हाँ, बता दीजिए, मुझे पोस्ट भी बनाना पड़ेगा अभी इंडिया और ऑस्ट्रेलिया
Exactly
का।
why I was telling that some of us need to know.
Thank God I don't
Only
work with
258 for
people
eight,
who,
7.
7.
मैं देख रहा
sometimes,
था and I was upset.
So
clients.
just give me a small breakdown of is 280, what is it, the number which you just gave, like 258 for 7 is a good number or a bad number, and who is winning and who
Bad
is
number.
losing?
India is chasing.
India is losing.
Chasing. Like
Chasing,
chasing of
okay.
353 runs.
Oh, okay. तो इंडिया जीत रहा है.
हार रहा है.
That's good. It's a confirmation
Chasing and
because
losing.
we had to put out a social media post, so I just don't want to get confused and mess it up.
Prantik, I think we should start, I guess.
Yep, we can start. Hi, Richita.
Hi,
Hi,
Richita.
Hi, Anu. So, yeah, the
hi,
mic is
Anu.
over to you, Surya. Best of luck. Best of luck, Diksha.
Yeah,
Let's start.
I need that. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, first of all, everyone, for joining me. Today, I'm the host of this evening or maybe night. So, today we have Diksha as our guest. And just to give you a brief about Diksha, so she is a product manager from engineering background and as an agency owner of Smog Hub, and she has built like a self-scale zero investment e-commerce startup like at the age of 18, and she have achieved a lot of like in her early stage, and she have achieved turnover of almost 1 million under 1 year. So that was huge for me while reading her profile. And so thank you so much, Diksha, for joining us here and in this session. So first of all, let me give you a brief about like what we are going to talk about in this session. So we will talk about freelancing, its challenges, like what skill set are trending in the market, and from where we can find clients, and a lot more things related to freelancing, right? So if anyone has any question, he or like she can raise hand or maybe like write the question in the comment section. So like let's start from the first question, which I have in my mind or I have prepared basically. So my first question from you, Diksha, will be why should someone start freelancing and like how was your experience in the freelancing world?
Okay. So how, okay, you said why, right? So why depends on a lot of things. For a few people, it's like they would like to experience freedom and, they might be already working somewhere and they would like to go completely, individual and be on their own and not restricted to one company. And for some people, it's like, they just want to like build a revenue model, right? So it depends on the person what they want to do really. For me, it was out of necessity that I started. Later on, I got like really used to it, and I really liked it, and I'm continuing with that. Uh, but back then, it was a necessity, and you won't believe that my first freelance gig was of graphic design, and I built a logo for 50 INR. That was my first freelance gig. So yeah, it could mean a lot of things for a lot of people. So I think the first thing is to determine if you want to freelance. Why do you want to freelance? Because you need to put out your brain, you put out your thoughts into that way, right? That particular way. So you need to first determine why you want to freelance. Is it because it's cool, or is it because you really need it, or is it because you want to skill up and learn along the way, or is it just on revenue basis, right? So you need to determine, and based on that you need to go ahead. And even on your professional journey, on which part of journey you are, even that matters. Are you still a student, or are you already working somewhere? Are you experienced, or are you just beginning, right? So all of these things matter when you determine why you should freelance. And to be honest, freelancing is not for everyone, But at the same time, I would say that you should explore. Almost everyone should explore this journey. Unless you explore, you can't really know that if it is really for you or not. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So, like Diksha, one more question arises from this. Like you have done engineering, right? So, like you started freelancing at that time, like in your college days, and you are not like how you are focusing, like balancing the college studies and like freelancing. So, how you are doing both like these things?
Yeah, so when I started out, it was during COVID pandemic. So it was completely, we did not have classes and all. So I started out in that way, but when classes resumed and all, also I was kind of used to that. So yeah, it kind of, I kind of figured out balancing stuff. And freelance is something, that is an advantage for us, that you can determine what time you can work. Generally, some gigs or some projects might need your full time attention, but it again comes down to you, that how much bandwidth you have. If you're studying, then how are you going to manage this, right? So yeah, I think it boils down to time management. Even that does not have a particular framework or so. I think you figure out along with your your priorities, the classes that you have, and if you're working somewhere, then the job that you have. Right. So yeah, so time management and all these things you figure out on the way what works for you. Someone might be a night owl, or someone might be a lark, right, who prefers working during the daytime. It depends on them. Someone who might be a night owl, it won't be a problem for them, because they would come back and they would work in the night. If you're a lark, then maybe you can wake up pretty early and work on these things and figure things out. And there was also a time when I used to go to college. I was interning at a company. I was also freelancing, and we were also running smug work. So yeah, you kind of figure things out on the go. At one point, maybe you'll start burning out as well. I won't suggest anyone to go in that way. Managing these many things at once. I will never suggest that. But if you think that you want to really experience that, then yeah, you should once or twice, experience it, but never drive yourself to the point of burnout. Then, you won't be productive at any way. So yeah, just figure out a time, see, if you can work during the lunch breaks, or, if you have any free sessions during your college hours, right? So yeah, these kind of things.
Okay, okay, awesome. So now we have learned about freelancing. So I just wanted to ask you, let's talk about the skills or expertise, key like which are in high demand in market, like freelancing market. So what do you think? What are the skills which are like in high demand in like nowadays?
Um, so if you talk about high demand, there are a range of skills. Coming to tech, we have writing is always evergreen. Okay, no matter how much AI comes up, it is evergreen. It depends on how good of a writer you are and which domain you're writing for. And design also, right? Like UI UX design, graphic design. These are also always on the go in the market. So yeah, digital marketing is growing a lot, and especially someone who is a growth generalist, I would say, who can manage a lot of things at one time. Coming to digital marketing, right? That is growing right now, and even from product management perspective, also, what trend I'm seeing right now is that. Companies are preferring product marketing managers rather than product managers, as in someone who can build the product as well as sell the product at the same time, right? So these are some of the trends I'm seeing mainly on the marketing end. But one of the evergreen skills that you should acquire at any cost is writing. Maybe not at the point that you become a professional writer, but to communicate and put out your thoughts and ideas. At least you have to be a good enough writer, I would say. And rest of the things, I say that you explore if you're not really sure what is your forte. As I mentioned, I started with a graphic design gig, right? I built a logo. Now I don't build logos. We have designers who do it for us in our agency, but I don't build logos. So yeah, like explore a bit, see what you like, and what is also good in the market, and based on that, don't just follow the trends. That's what I would say.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So one more thing, I want to ask how important is to like specialize in a particular niche as a freelancer, and how can one identify like their niche? Like you started from graphic designing, and later on you do like various stuff. So how do you specialize your own niche? Okay, I have to do in this, like this specifically niche. So how do someone who is just starting out can uh, choose their niche?
Yeah, so I would say that niche, coming to niche, right? Sorry, my dog is barking a lot. Yeah, so coming to niche, right? To be honest, even now I have not come down to exactly one niche. Okay, to be honest, I am pretty open to a lot of industries and a lot of gigs also. For example, since past 4 years, I've been writing. I've been into content writing, but right now, I am a product manager since the past 2 years. So I've been doing a lot of things. Coming to Smughawk, I do a lot of copywriting. I also do a lot of product management. I work with the tech team, and also I work on the social media marketing and the digital marketing end, right? So niche is something, it depends on a person. Someone could really be good being a generalist, right? Especially being a founder or something, you tend to be a generalist. And yeah, like coming to my niche, probably I'm a little better at technical content writing, I would say, because even in the product management side, writing PRDs and all, I'm good at that. And when I started out as a content writer, also I started with technical content writing. So yeah, so I think niche is, it depends on a person. If they think that they're very good at this particular niche, early on they have started working with one particular industry only, then maybe they can niche down. But some people prefer being dynamic. They are good at a lot of things. Then I don't think it's really a bad thing to be a generalist. And people are really looking for those generalist type of people who can manage a lot of things, especially startups. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so what do you suggest to someone who is just starting out? Like, will you suggest to hands-on, like dirty your hands-on with different things, or like focus on one niche and then like learn the skill? What do you think?
Yeah, so someone who's starting out, right? If they, I definitely would say that get your hands dirty into many things. But if they find early on that okay, this is what I'm really good, getting good at very quickly, right? Then if you think that you're really liking it and you're also getting good results, stick with that niche, right? But it's not the same thing for everyone. So that is the reason why it is dependent on that person and the opportunities they get, and also the industry trends, and a lot of things, right? So yeah.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about the like challenges which freelancer face, like especially when they're starting out, right? Like earlier, I was talking with one of my friend, and he was telling me about how we as a freelancer undervalue ourselves, like the basically the Indian freelancers mostly, and
Yeah.
get less paid. So what do you think? Like how, like why we are like undervalue our skill and like get less paid, and what's the solution?
Yeah, so this is like a huge topic of its own, to be honest. But to give you a short answer on this, basically, we are a large population, first of all, right? 2 billion population. So in that, there is a lot of competition here. You see how many engineering graduates are coming out every year. How many graduates in general are coming out every year, and yeah, like the population in general and the job market in general, it's like lot of people who are unemployed also, right? So even if people are getting skilled and all, right, there is a feeling that there are so many people out there who are as good as me or who are better than me, right? And there is also a typical Indian mindset, especially when we're working with Indian clients or Indian companies, or in general, even we ourselves, right? We think that if we have those many years of experience, that is equal to more amount of pay, or yeah, that is a natural notion that people have. But what they don't realize is that how much skilled you are and how easily you can skill up yourself, that is the most important trait, rather than how many years of experience you have. So I think that is one challenge that people face, especially if we are young. We feel like okay, we are young, we are still learning, we don't have a lot of years of experience, probably, it's fine for me to work on a lower cost basis, right? And even from the client's end also, not everyone obviously, but the majority of the people, right? They see that, okay, this person is young, okay, they might be talented but they're young, it's fine for them to do it for me for a lower cost. That is the general mindset that people have. So what I would suggest is that you analyze and see what other people are doing, the people who are doing good, right? Who are earning well, who are doing good. You talk to them, you see how they have struggled and how they have been working with other people, and also try to work with those clients who are really valuing your work. And it's not just about pay, okay? Even the respect and the way the clients are treating when that is important. Pay is obviously the most important factor, but even these things matter, right? Yeah, that would be my short answer.
Like in
We can have
starting.
another session on this actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because like when someone is starting, like in their early 20s, they are like, I have to earn, and at any cost, like if I get any amount, I will just have to like take the client and do the work, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have that mindset.
Yeah. To be honest, even I get those thoughts now also. Like after 4 years of into the writing space and all, I still get that because I still see people who say that you're still young, and like they don't say it directly, but that is what they imply, right? So yeah, that is a common implication you get, especially if you're in that peer pressure environment and you see people telling you again and again, you tend to get that. But yeah, like see what value you're providing. Don't just. There are also a few people who make the mistake while starting out that they just chase money. Okay, so you also have to see how much value you are providing yourself also. So it's not just about how much time you spend. Some people think that, okay, I'm spending this much time, that means I should get this much. It's not just about time always. It's also about how much value you're providing. If you try putting your hands more and more, like getting hands on more and more, you start doing things even quickly. So that particular value you provide in that short amount of time is more valued than what you would do in a very long time. So you should also see what value you're providing, and then price accordingly rather than just the hours you work and all. So that is why I don't really prefer hourly basis work. I don't really prefer at all. I've never done that also till. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, like you're talking, like we are earlier talking about the good clients. So, Diksha, what would you advise, like how to get good clients? Like one day I was talking with Ritesh sir, and he advised me like why you should not use freelancing platforms for getting clients, and about how why you should use like the importance of community, like the Facebook community, the WhatsApp community, and why you should use these communities over the freelancing platform. So, what do you think?
I totally agree with him because till now I have not generated even a single client out of these platforms. I have not put my effort also into that, to be honest. And whatever clients I have got were through either referrals or through communities. And also there are some freelance programs by companies themselves. Okay, like when I started out, right, content writing. So I started out with Geeks for Geeks. They have this technical content writing program of their own. So I applied for that. Then they took some sample work of mine, and then I got started from that. So yeah, like it sometimes if people are really good at those platforms, they have been for a longer time, then they have good traction over there. They can continue. But right now there is a lot of competition in these particular platforms. So and usually people clients, how they are going to treat freelancers there, like usually not everyone is like that, but usually what happens is that even a slightest mistake, if anyone performs right, they are going to completely ditch them, and they are like, okay, this is a marketplace where I can find other freelancers easily, so why do I stick with this person even if there is a slight mistake for that, right? So these are some of the reasons why these platforms might not be preferred. But again, it depends on the people, right? If they're doing really good on these platforms already, or they already have some traction and they're getting some clients already, then yeah, if it's working out for you, do stick to that. They might not be really great at community engagement, right? I have a friend, for example, he gets a lot of clients through Upwork, but he's never really active in these communities. He doesn't get clients through communities, but he gets very good clients from Upwork because he has already that particular profile built over there, and he already got traction over there, and his past clients keep coming back to him. So it depends on a person again.
Okay. So, like, what do you recommend to someone? Like, what works for you? Like, if you have some platforms in your mind rather than Upwork, Freelancer, or these like famous platforms which you have used and like want to recommend someone who is just starting out. If you have in your mind.
Right. So as I mentioned, I did not really actively use any of these platforms, but there are a few platforms like Uplers. It's not Upwork, it's Uplers. They are like pretty high paying gigs and all you'll find. Like even full time jobs also you can find over there. And even there is another platform called Crossover. Crossover is like they're pretty high paying platforms. But again, the problem that I mentioned, right? They easily get people out, or they let go of people pretty easily because they feel that there is a marketplace of freelancers there. But yeah, I think you can give it a try to these platforms. There's nothing wrong in that, but don't rely completely on them. That is what I would say. If you can utilize communities, if you think that you're a good communicator, you think that you can build connections, and that is going to help you on a longer run as well, right? It's not just for 1 or 2 gigs. It is going to help you on a longer run. People will know you, they'll keep you in mind. If they start something on their own, then they will come back to you, right? So it's always best that you start with communities, but there is nothing wrong if you try out these platforms as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, what do you think? What do you think about cold emailing? Like, if you want to share some experience, like cold emailing can play a major role in like getting clients. So, what do you think? If you have some like experience or you have like some stories to share, ki, okay, I've applied through cold emailing and these are the results. So, what do you think about this?
Yeah. For me, I did try cold emailing, but not as much as the other things. Mostly for me, what have worked the most are LinkedIn DMs and using communities. So, cold emailing worked for me in the sense that I sent out a detailed profile of mine to someone on the email, and then I also DM them on LinkedIn. That's how it worked for me. So, and also I would suggest that when you are reaching out to people through emails, right, avoid using tools like automation tools like MailChimp and all, because there is a higher possibility that your email would go into spam. And also make sure that you don't spam people too much through your emails also, because um, when you are going to send them the emails, then they might mark you as spam, or they might just leave you on unread. And Gmail will think, Gmail or any other email platform you're using will think that this is a spam account or a bot account, right? So you have to be very smart in that sense when you are cold emailing people. So yeah, I mean that will work out, but I would say that build a system, right? When you're reaching out to people, build a system, not just rely on only one thing. I would only DM people, or I would only cold email people. Don't just stick to one of them. Build a system, and if you think that it's really worth it, reach out to them on from every platform. They would see that the effort you're putting in is phenomenal. Then, right? When you're reaching out to them through every platform. Yeah. So this would be my suggestion.
Awesome, awesome. So, like when someone is starting, so they face a lot of problem, like they burn out. So, what do you think? What are some common mistake freelancers do, like make when they are starting out, like from your experience? And if you have to like give advice to me, basically, or the one who is starting out, so what do you suggest?
Yeah, I mean, the common thing anyone would say, not only me, is like focusing on quality over quantity. But when you're starting out, right, saying is easier than getting done. So at the beginning stage, maybe getting those high paying quality clients is difficult. If you get it, if you have a very good profile, if you get it, it's good for you. But in an ideal case scenario, that might not be possible. So, coming to burnout, right? So even if you take up like smaller gigs at the beginning, right? Do them pretty well. Even if you take those smaller gigs, don't take too many. Even if they're smaller ones, don't take too many. Do them pretty well, and then retain these clients. Or if you think that you can't continue, they're too small, or you can't continue with them, take testimonials from them, take proper proof of work from them. Obviously, most of you will have your Fueler profile. If you don't have, obviously, you can create one. And yeah, like showcase that you have put in those effort, even if with the little years of experience you have the optimum skills to do the things, right? For example, till recently, I had no experience in building someone else's personal brand. I mean, I was doing mine, but I personally was never, doing someone else. But through my own personal branding and the works that we are doing on Smagog, someone reached out to me to build their personal brand. They asked me if you will be able to do. I thought that I have not done this, but let me give it a try, because we have been building a lot of company and brands. So personal brand could be optimized with similar frameworks, if not same. That is what I told them also. I was pretty honest with them. So they were not really high ticket, but they were not really small as well. They were good enough, like a good retainer based client for us. So yeah, like when focus on quality, even if they are smaller gigs. So don't burn out. If you burn out, you can't do anything properly, right?
Hmm.
So yeah.
True, true, true. Okay, so like when someone's starting out now, or when someone is making their portfolio, like they like what do you think? Like if someone is starting out, they over like ज़्यादा कुछ बता देते हैं कि like ये भी कर लेंगे, वैसा भी कर लेंगे, ऐसा भी कर लेंगे. So what do you think कि like process of ensuring meet deadlines in a project कि like जितना commit किया उतना ही complete कर लें. People जब start करते हैं तो वो ओवर कमिट कर देते हैं और टाइम से पहले डिलीवर नहीं कर पाते हैं. सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट दिस?
Yeah, I mean what Chelsea said is right. Under promise and over deliver.
या.
But when we are pitching to clients, it shouldn't feel like an under promise. It shouldn't feel like that. You can under promise, but your client shouldn't feel that when you're pitching to them. So basically, what I would say is that when you're talking to them for the first time, you tell I can do this, I can do that, but obviously you're not going to close them. The general scenario is that you won't close them in the first call itself, right? छोटा gig हो या फिर बड़ा gig हो, it doesn't matter. But in the first call itself, you're not going to close them. So what I would say is that analyze the work, what is required here, and build a documentation first for yourself rather than the scope for the client, right? What you can do, what they would need, analyze everything, right? Just a second.
It's her dog. It always barks a lot.
सॉरी तेजस्वी, यू आर सेइंग समथिंग.
Yeah, it's her dog. It always barks a lot, like a lot.
Sorry for that. Yeah, I mean she's a pup, so she's learning, I guess. Yeah.
That's cute.
Um, Yeah. So, yeah, like we paused in between. Where were we?
So we are talking about like under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, right. So, it's always good that you go back and analyze rather than getting too nervous or too excited. Because when we are too excited, we see कि okay, ये इतना बड़ा client आने वाला है. Sometimes even though they might not be big, even they speak a lot. That the way they speak, some clients, we think that they're very high ticket, right? It's fine, high ticket, low ticket, medium ticket, jo bhi ho. But first, go analyze what you can do and what work will they need, right? And then document it. It need not be a very comprehensive document, just how you can understand yourself. You're not going to show that to anyone else. So document it and understand what you can do or map it out and then create a scope. Ki, I'm going to deliver this much. I'm going. This is the timeline. Timeline is also little important, even if it is not completely done. Maybe a basic timeline of the overview is also important, no matter how small or big it is, right? And then maybe also charge in advance. It depends on the client. Like if it is a very small gig or you're starting out, advance might not be very feasible, but take some people take even 50% advance. I've never taken 50%, but yeah, it depends on your thing and even the client as well. Yeah, and then scope it out and then send it to them. And when you also do the work right, make sure that you're giving your best in that particular scenario. Best का मतलब नहीं कि एक ही client के ऊपर पूरा 24 hours दे दिया, but yeah, जितना scope किया है उसके अनुसार अपना best दे दो. That is what over delivering means actually.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Works. So, like, if someone's starting, how can like freelancer who is just starting out set their rates or prices? What do you think?
This is a tricky question. I mean, even today, we kind of struggle on that end. Like, we do have some, standard pricing ki is काम के लिए इतना charge करेंगे, but still उसी काम में भी there are a lot of things that goes into it. Like, इस client को, for example, social media ले लेते हैं. किसी क्लाइंट को इतने सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स में करना है, किसी क्लाइंट को सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स में करना है बट उसे ही रिपोस्ट करना है, किसी को हर प्लेटफॉर्म में अलग अलग चाहिए. So there are a lot of things that come to that end. So I think the standard procedure is like how much effort and time you're putting in. If you're doing individually, then your individual time and effort, right? And how much you have. Agar you have already done previously for some other clients, how much you had charged them and how much effort you had put. Like for example, you might have under charged previously, right? इस बार वो गलती मत करो, but at the same time overcharge भी मत करो, right? And if you have never charged someone, give it a thought like industry में कितना charges ले रहे हैं, talk to some people, right? Based on that, थोड़ा सा कम रखो because you're starting out, not much, maybe a slightly less to show yourself a bit of the competitive end. कि I'm starting out, but I'm charging a little less and I'm giving good value, right? Yeah, that's how it is. And also look at the client की client कौन से region से है, like is it an international client या Indian client है, localized है कि उतना उनका business कितना अच्छा चल रहा है. Even those things matter, right? So based on that, you can go with the pricing model that will work for you and the client as well. Don't show the client ki you're very low end or cheap or whatever, and at the same time, don't overwhelm them with the huge pricing.
Okay.
It's
So,
still a paradox, I mean. Still, the question arises, but yeah, this is the general scenario. Yeah.
understood. So, Diksha, like, if you have faced this situation, I don't know if you have faced or not, but what are the ways to deal with clients who refuse to clear the payment on time? Like, what are the things like the freelancers should do if they face this situation?
Yeah. First of all, I would say कि कुछ contract या SOW you get it signed, okay? So especially if it is like a medium or a huge gig, get it signed as early on as possible. For smaller gigs, very smaller gigs, it's up to you. Like if the client is comfortable, you can get it signed. So generally, people do pay up on time if the contract is signed. But even if there is a default from their end, obviously you can't go, okay, I will sue you or I'll go to court. You can't do that from early on. If it is really needed and it's a huge project that you have worked, maybe later on. Yeah, you can go legally. I can see Anand asking a question. You can go legally, but when you go legally, right, there is a lot that goes from your pocket also. A lot of time and money goes from your pocket also, right? So you need to determine if that is really worth it, right? So first you go with the ways that you can do it, like request them and find out what the problem is. And if you're fine with it, then maybe you ask them that you give them an option to pay you on a installment basis, right? So if you're fine with it, obviously, if you're not, then yeah. So then find out like if they are putting the effort into their own business or not. If find out and do good background check before you go with the client. I mean, clients do a lot of background check on us, but even we should do a lot of background check on them. Don't just go blindly ki okay client मिल गया करके. Don't do that. So even if there is a payment default, try following up with them and try for finding out the reason. I mean, are they really busy? Is that why, or are they, out of revenue? What is the reason, right? Based on that, you communicate with them. If it is a lack of time, then you follow up with them accordingly. That whenever you're free, let's have a call. Let's discuss and you can send me the payment whenever possible. If you're sending out the invoice, then keep sending them reminders, right? So it depends on why they are also. Yeah. And if it is like a huge gig and you have put in a lot of time and effort and everything, and you think it's worth going legally, then go ahead legal. Yeah.
Okay, understood. So let's talk about one more thing. Like freelancing can sometimes blurs the lines between like work and personal life. So how do you maintain a healthy work-life balance, basically?
Until recently,
Same problem.
my Yeah, I mean, until recently, if you ask Tejasvi, she's going to laugh on my face because my personal life almost was non-existent. Okay, until recently. She would be like, if you literally ask her, she would be like, you don't even have a life, bro. She'll be telling me like that. So, but don't do that. Obviously, it's important, and also find out that what personal life actually means for you. For people who have like families of their own, I'm not just talking about your parents and siblings, but family of your own, maybe you're married or something, then your priorities are different. And if you're someone who is young and your family also supports your journey and decisions, like just like my family, they're totally fine with these things. But still, if you feel like you need that emotional boost to spend time with them, then obviously shell some time out. Keep a timer for yourself that I will only work till now, or time block yourself on your calendar that these particular timings I will be working. The other timings I should be free to do anything. I should spend time with my family, or I'll be working out, or whatever entails your personal life. So personal life is, depends on a person what is for them. That is a definition that they would define themselves, right? So depending on that, I would say that time block your work, right? In that way, you won't get burnt out also. In that particular time, don't do anything else. Don't touch your phone. Don't interact too much with a lot of people, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Chelsea telling me about I don't work on Saturday and Sundays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that
So
particular
Rajita,
thing is needed until you don't want to get burnt out, right? So one day of complete, 1 or 2 days of complete rest is, yeah,
And yet
required.
we have been trying to, get out of that Saturday, Sunday thing for almost like a year and it's still going on.
Yeah, we will reach there. I think we have almost also we will reach there.
Yeah, one day.
Yeah.
okay, so Rachita is asking when should one know that freelancing isn't for them? Like she loves writing, but they are like she's not sure about this culture. So where they are possibly going wrong? What do you think?
Yeah, so when you know freelancing is not for you, you will know because you start feeling burnt out and you see that you can't, work with multiple clients or multiple stakeholders, right? When you're in a job, you're assigned a particular team, you work with them, right, on a daily basis. But when you're freelancing, you have to deal with a lot of people, right? A lot of type of clients you need to deal with. Some are easy to work with, some are difficult to work with, some might be from a particular location. I mean, even in a job you do, but then you work with them for a very long time in a job, that particular team, right? But in freelancing, it might not be always the case. Some long-term clients are like fine. It almost becomes like your like a 9 to 5 job if you have like long-term clients. But in either case, if you think that you're burning out and you can't handle these many stakeholders at once, then probably you should reconsider freelancing, and maybe you should go with a full-time role. There are people who have switched from full-time role to freelancing, and there are people who have switched from freelancing to full-time also. So it depends on you what really works for you. So there is no particular time period, or there is no particular schedule as such that you will understand that freelancing is not for you. It will just, you'll understand, like your daily routine will be like you're not happy anymore, and you're not satisfied anymore, or you're not uh, getting what you would need enough, whether it's revenue or it's satisfaction. It depends on you, right? What is your main goal at that point? If you're not reaching that even after a rigorous trial, that is when you know that this might not be for you. I think Surya is stuck.
Yeah, I think he has some network issues. Let me check once. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys.
Yeah, Ayush says that freelancing requires self discipline. I totally agree. I mean, at one point you will be like, why why did I even get into this? I have to deal with so many clients, and sometimes there might be a particular month or so you might not even have any work. I mean, not everyone faces this, but many people do face that particular phase as well. So that is when, yeah, you need to concentrate on self discipline and not give up easily. But at the same time, if you think that it's not working out for you at all, yeah, maybe then you can rethink. Freelancing is a
Cool.
business, yeah, obviously. Yeah.
So, like with freelancing, I had a question. I saw your profile, right, on
Hmm.
LinkedIn. So you have shared that you have done like a lot of revenue for your first e-commerce startup, for your own self, and then for others as well, right? So, like, can I get a crisp overview of how like you did that, and what should be the mindset during that time, being for example, if I own a e-commerce business and I try to make some revenue during that, so like what could be that, if I had a goal like that, what should be the like some pointers that I should keep in mind while going ahead?
Yeah, so when I started out my e-commerce journey, I did not even have a store. So basically, I was just running on a WhatsApp community, and also I built a couple of Telegram communities as well. And I used to market on different platforms. Instagram, Facebook Marketplace it was a boon for me, and yeah, that's how I got started out. So yeah, at that point the only thing on my mind was getting revenue somehow, because it was out of necessity rather than something I was trying out, or something I was trying to build, or something out of passion, right? Later on I really started enjoying it, and it kind of became my passion. But that urgency and that urge is something that is pretty important if that is your goal, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so people say that, okay, this is a particular framework you need to follow, or this is a particular steps you need to follow. But the first thing that you need to have is the zeal or the urgency, and the how much do you need that particular need is pretty important when you want the revenue, right? Even if
Hmm.
you see startup founders, most of them might be, I mean, not most of them, but a few of them might be on the verge of like breakdown, and then they'll be like, somehow I have to pick this up, and then they go on and make a lot of revenue. So it depends on you. Like if you are going pretty well, but you want to build something out of passion, and then get that revenue, there is a different path for that. And if you're building something out of need and urgency, there is a different path for that. And when
Yep.
you're building out of need and urgency, your mindset is like, somehow I have to do it. I have to just do it.
Yep.
Anyhow, I have to do it, right? Yeah. So
Yep.
that was also my mindset at back then. And there was this book called Earn Your First Dollar in 30 Days. So
Okay.
I think I was 10 days into reading the book, when I finally earned my first dollar, like, that was the urgency. I mean, like, 30 days, who is going to wait? So that is what I was experiencing, because it was in the middle of the pandemic. I was bored also, and I was like, I had to like do this somehow. So yeah, I think that is what would entail. Yeah.
Damn, that's a quite a great insight from you, Diksha. Like, uh, e- for this only that I wanted to know that how was your process. So I got like type of answer that you had a strong why for your own self, right, during
Yeah.
doing the business. So yeah, it's similar to anything that we try to achieve. So yeah, I relate to it at some extent. So yeah, Surya, if you're back, then you can ask.
Yeah. So one more thing which I have in my mind, Diksha, like everyone started from freelancing, and later on they like do make their agency, like Ritesh sir, you. So how is this transition? First of all, when someone knows कि अच्छा मुझे अब एजेंसी बनाना चाहिए, like मैंने बहुत freelancing कर लिया है, अब मुझे इस फील्ड में जाना चाहिए, and how is the transition?
Okay. First of all, even if someone has a lot of years of experience, it's not guaranteed that they have to start an agency. Agency model is not for everyone. Okay, if you think that I want to work with a team, I want to scale up and take this like a full on business, right? Then you might want to, but not everyone is. There are a lot of people who have a lot of years of experience, but they're still freelancers and they're comfortable with it, and they might be even earning more than agency owners also at some point, right? So for me, the need came up when I would say this particular situation. Okay, so there was this client who had reached out to me for content strategy, but then after talking to him, we realized that they needed a full-on social media marketing itself. So even though I was into writing and strategy, I was not. I mean, I could handle design, but I was not as good at it, right? And the quality that they would need was not something I could provide in terms of design and social media management and all, right? So then I thought that okay, let me team up with some people. I still did not have agency in my mind. I just had team in my mind. Okay. So yeah, like Tejasvi was my classmate, so she was into social media and digital marketing. She was also asking me, why don't we start something together? She had been asking me for a lot of time. So I had that in mind. So I reached out to her for social media part, and some of her juniors, they were into the design, okay, graphic design. So I reached out to them. I was also a lead of Google Developer Student Club, so I knew a lot of people and I've worked with them. What is their skill set and all from juniors and my classmates. So that's how we formed a team and we started working with this particular client. So as we went on, we were like, okay, we are serving this one client, then why don't we, try out with others as well. So that is when we started getting some requests. Most of them were inbound. Like we did not reach out to them. Most of them were inbound, and that's how we thought, okay, this team has to be given a name. So that's how What was the first name we thought of, Tejasvi? It was not just Smug Hawk. Yeah, it was called the Smug Hawk Firm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were
it was.
brainstorming a lot because it was a Smug Hawk firm, Smug Hawk marketing, and basically Smug Hawk is the synonyms of marketing and content together.
Yeah,
So
smug means content and hawk means marketing. So the smug hawk firm, and the logo was also TSHF at the beginning. But people used to get confused. I mean, the smug hawk firm, it was pretty
we
difficult for
changed
them to
the
remember.
way.
Yeah, I mean, smug hawk is also slightly difficult to remember. I agree to that. But yeah, brand recall, exactly.
And we are
So
standing out because of that name, so we are proud of the name.
yeah, so later on we thought that okay, that is like a huge name, so let us, come down and do only Smug Hawk. And we were still not registered back then. Maybe after 2-3 months, we thought that okay, let's get some sort of registration done so that people can trust us, right? That trust thing is there. That okay, they are a registered firm, and so you search them. So yeah, that's how we got started. But starting an agency will require a lot of brainstorming, and there are a lot of reasons that you need to justify if you want to start an agency. It shouldn't be just for the sake of starting an agency. Most of the time it'll stem out of a need, just like we did.
Mm. Okay, true. So, like, I want to highlight or ask you, like, to highlight this part. Like, if someone is starting into freelancing, the most important thing is like their proof of work. So, what do you think? How can someone build their, like, in their own niche? How can someone build their proof of work, which can stand like them in the market or in the freelancing world, basically?
Okay. So yeah, the first thing that you can do if you're just starting out. Okay, I thought someone was talking. Sorry for that. So yeah, like first when you're starting out, look at patterns about how other brands are doing and other freelancers, how they're marketing themselves, how they are building their own portfolio, right? And yeah, based on that, like you identify some patterns that where we can improve. For example, let's take copywriting. If you take copywriting, pick up some popular brands like Zomato, Swiggy, and all these, right? You look at what copies these brands are building and see if you can build any better copies for them. So try and making few of your portfolio in this way, and then maybe work with a couple of clients for smaller gigs, maybe for free or for lower cost, right? That will help you build connections as well as help you build your portfolio. When you're starting out, you have nothing to lose, right? You're literally searching for work. So why not, work with real clients and gain those testimonials and gain those experiences, and also build your own portfolio, right? So, and you can, if you're doing a very good job, people will be literally ready to give you even video testimonials. So try reaching out to people, maybe charge less with them, or for smaller gigs, work with them for free. But if you think that you really have a good portfolio, then yeah, maybe charge a certain amount if not working for free. So yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Okay, works. So Chelsea had like asked a question like how does the work vary with international clients as compared to like Indian clients? I guess.
Okay. Uh, yeah, this I might not be very qualified to answer. We have not worked with a lot of international clients, to be honest. Maybe one or two of them, but not very much. But I think the main touch points where it might vary is mainly the time zone. A lot of clients, maybe if they're from US or from the European countries, their time zones are different from ours. So you need to keep those in mind when you're getting on a call with them, and also you need to do a lot of geographical research for them. And it depends on, obviously, it depends on your niche. For example, if you're in the marketing niche, you need to do a lot of geographical research about what might work for their particular demographic. So if you're doing something for an Indian market, if you're finding out some insights that might not work for a German client, right? So you need to do a lot of demographical research for them. But when it comes to things like development and design thinking or UI UX design, maybe it might not vary too much. You can create some samples for them, right? Samples works for everyone. It's not just national or international. It works for everyone. If you're creating samples for them, you're literally showing a small what do you say, trailer of your work, right? So you have your portfolio, but on top of it, if you're giving a small sample, it's a confirmation that you can provide value to them, no matter what type of client you're working with, right? And yeah, another scenario that you might come for is payments, right? So maybe you have to build. I mean, you might go for some international payment gateway. Moola, I mean not Moola. I forgot the name. Um, I mean, Wise Payments is one of them. With one of the international clients we worked with, Wise Payment was pretty good. It was very simple and fast as well. Yeah, Wise. Um, Mulia, I think. Yeah, Mulia is another. I think it's a new startup. I think even the founder is in the Fueler community, I think. Yeah, PayPal. PayPal. Yeah, but I kind of found a lot of UX related issues in PayPal, so I don't prefer PayPal. Yeah, but some people who already have accounts on PayPal and doing good with that, you can use PayPal, obviously. Yeah. If
Hmm.
there are any
Okay.
specific things I can answer, but yeah, these are my insights.
Cool, cool.
So
So,
in that,
one fun question from my side, like, please, Akash, what, any question?
okay, okay, you go first.
Okay. So, why engineers, apart from engineering, do everything?
Tejasvi, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, we had a lot of crazy jumps here. Like, maybe Diksha has, like, we are from a computer science background, and she went into technical writing. But me, on a personal note, from computer science background, I jumped into marketing, which is totally a different, field. And whichever client we come across, that's the first question we come. Like, you guys did your graduation in BTech engineering, like in specific, and how did you jump here? But it all made sense because Diksha, as she mentioned, we worked in the Google Developer Student Club together, where she led the team and I was in the marketing department. So, you know, उधर से सब शुरू हो गया तो आज we are here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main reason why this happens is because many of us, like being Indians, maybe from our relatives or parents' perspective, or even peer pressure, right? Most of us join engineering out of, कर रहे हैं सब लोग कर रहे हैं तो मुझे भी करने दो, right?
कुछ ना कुछ
And
तो होना
then,
चाहिए.
yeah, exactly. And then, on the journey, we find our true passion about what we really like to do and all. Yeah, and that is the reason why I think, most of the engineers don't do really engineering. But there are a lot of engineers, to be honest, who are actually doing engineering and they're pretty good at it. But yeah, I think these are the main reasons.
Yeah, true, true, true. So, rare cases. Yeah, so I rest
Correct.
my question. Like, I don't have, I rest my case basically. So, I don't have much questions. And yeah, if anyone has any question, like he or she can ask.
Can I go now?
Please go ahead.
So first of all, I was asking, is better कि मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ क्योंकि मेरा इंग्लिश अच्छा नहीं है.
Yeah, yeah, fine.
Go ahead.
Please go ahead.
मेन चीज मैं जो एक पूछ रहा था कि लाइक कोई ऐसे कोई टेक्निक जैसा ये नहीं कह रहा कि जैसे ईमेल मार्केटिंग हो गया, फेसबुक ऐड, ऐसे लाइक कौन सा आपने इस्तेमाल किया फिलहाल क्लाइंट आने के लिए?
I didn't get your question. Like, आपकी आवाज बीच में
नहीं मत
कटी. हाँ.
ओके, अब क्लियर है?
Yeah, yeah, it's better
Uh,
now.
तो मैं कह रहा था कि लाइक क्लाइंट आने के लिए जैसे कोई स्ट्रेटेजी या फिर कोई तरीका जैसे आप इस्तेमाल करते हो. जैसे मैं रिसेंटली बहुत ज़्यादा कोल्ड ईमेल में सीख रहा हूँ. मेरा नी से वेब डिज़ाइन, बट क्लाइंट आने के लिए मैं कोल्ड ईमेल सीख रहा हूँ मेनली. तो उसमें क्या होता है, मेनली मैं सीख रहा हूँ कैसे लीड्स फाइंड आउट करके उन लोगों को मैं बल्क में रीच आउट कर रहा हूँ एंड पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स आ रहा है, देन उन लोगों के साथ मीटिंग में आके देन कन्वर्ट करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. जैसे लाइक ऐसे कोई और तरीका है आपके पास, लाइक जैसे मैं कोल्ड ईमेल में सीख रहा हूँ, मे बी कोई और स्ट्रेटेजीज?
Yeah, I got your question. So basically, when you're trying to, get people to convert, the best way you can convert with them is ki currently what they have. If they have currently, for example, your case, web design you mentioned, right? Currently, what is the web design and a sample of how you can make it. Maybe, not completely, maybe only the hero part, or maybe a slide gist of, how you can convert it, right? If you show them that particular gist or that particular look, they will understand, okay, I can improve it in this way, and this person can do this for me, right? That I think is the most underrated, but the best way you can convert them, right? Because they're literally seeing that what you can do for them and what skill sets you already have. I mean, you might have your portfolio ready already, which already says that you have these certain skill sets. बट दिस पर्टिकुलर, ये जो पर्टिकुलर एफर्ट आपने डाला है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उनको लगेगा कि मेरे लिए इतना एफर्ट डाला है. Second thing, this will validate your skill set or your portfolio ki, yeah, this person can do this for me, and I can see this literally on the screen, right? There might be some rare cases where they might not like what you have done. In that case, still they will, approve your effort of putting that, right? Then they may tell you, okay, this is good, but this is how I want it. They will, convey that to you most probably. If they don't, then ask them, how do you want it? Then, you try to convert them in that particular way. But this really increases your chances rather than, just talking out to them. And reaching out is the first step, obviously, cold emailing and the way you're reaching out. But this is a validating step for you. Hope that answers your question.
या एक और क्वेश्चन मेरे दिमाग में था। रिसेंटली मैं कोल्ड ईमेल के लिए इंस्टॉली सॉफ्टवेयर इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ, तो
Hmm.
क्या कोई और कोई कहते हैं कोल्ड ईमेल का सॉफ्टवेयर जानता है इस ग्रुप में, लाइक जो लाइक थोड़ा लो एक्सपेंसिव हो, बिकॉज इंस्टॉली बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है यार।
Okay. My personal suggestion, as I mentioned earlier, also don't use any email softwares. When you're reaching out to people, reach out to them, like create a personal message from for almost everyone. Maybe एक छोटा सा template रख सकते हो, but try to personalize as much as possible. Don't use these softwares because you have a higher chance that your email ends up in the spam folder. So I personally don't have experience for cold emailing, especially for cold emailing. I don't use any softwares. So yeah.
पर्सनल ईमेल जो आप कह रहे हैं ना, पर्सनल ईमेल के लिए, उसके लिए भी
Hmm.
बहुत सारे तरीके हैं। लाइक हम ऑटोमेट कर सकते हैं, इनफैक्ट एआई के वजह से हम फर्स्ट लाइन को भी ऑप्टिमाइज कर सकते हैं, तो स्पैम वाला हिस्सा नहीं होता अब, अगर सही से
Okay.
करना आता है तो।
Then I guess you would be a better person to answer this because I don't really have a lot of experience doing that for cold emailing.
या
Yeah.
मे भी सीख ही रहा हो, कहीं ना कहीं बहुत एक्सपर्ट हो।
Yeah, yeah, sure. Every one of us are still learning and then, suggesting others. Yeah. If you have any suggestions, then you can suggest us then.
Hmm.
ये क्या सजेस्ट करो यार, मैं खुद ही सीखने में पड़ा हूँ।
It's okay,
Okay,
we
thank
learn
you,
and grow
Akash.
together.
Uh,
Yeah.
and anyone has any more questions like related to freelancing challenges or anything?
टू बी ऑनेस्ट, मैक्सिमम का कह रहा है या नहीं कह रहा है, सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज होता है क्लाइंट ढूंढना।
Okay.
जो लोग बिगिनर्स होते हैं, इनफैक्ट मैंने भी फेस किया था। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल
Hmm.
मुझे 3 ईयर लगे थे मेरे फर्स्ट क्लाइंट पाने के लिए, नॉट ए जॉब।
Yeah. Yeah, so clients, right? You have a lot of touch points for clients. Like if you're part of some communities, you see how you're going to portray yourself in the community. Community में ऐसा नहीं है कि you just send out your portfolio. मेरा ये portfolio है. I'm looking out for gigs. I mean, it works out in the cases that people already know you a bit and you are in some urgent situation or something like that. But in general, instead of doing that, first build a relationship with the members of the communities, right? Give some value. Ki, if some questions are posted or some discussion is going on, add your value to that. And yeah, then people would slowly get to know you, and then subtly send in your portfolio and send in your works, and people will start recognizing you. And if they have any gigs, reach out to them, or they themselves will reach out to you at that particular point. That is one way, but I understand that that is a slow process, but it is going to work out a lot in on the long run. And the second method is build your personal brand. That is like the most obvious thing, but most of us undervalue it and we don't really pay attention to that. Do personal branding, but in the right way. In the sense that don't just put out yourself, just advertising yourselves out there, but put in value whatever your niche is. For example, you're talking about web design, right? Talk about good web design principles, talk about some of the practices that you followed and some of the designs you made for others or some of the sample works you have done and how what are the trends currently going on. The Yeah, do some live research, post those statistics, right? So yeah, these would be some methods, and other than that, obviously we have like cold DMing and cold emailing.
Yeah, like word of mouth works so well for you, Akash. Like if someone recommends, like recommendation works so well. Like if
फर्स्ट
someone
ऑफ ऑल
likes your
नेटवर्क
profile. Uh-huh.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल नेटवर्क जैसे अभी अभी कहा तुमने, तो मेनली भाई मेरे नेटवर्क में बहुत सारे बंदे हैं जो मे बी कुछ लोग एजेंसी रन कर रहे हैं, या फिर दो ऐसे मेरे साथ नेटवर्क हो चुका है। इनफैक्ट भाई भाई चलते हैं, कभी कोई गाली झगड़ा भी चलते हैं, भाई भाई कैसे चलता है। उन लोगों से कभी ओवरवर्क उसे मिल जाता है तो मिल जाता है उस तरीके से। सेकेंड ऑफ ऑल मेरे पास एक आउटरीच प्रोसेस है अलग से, अभी कम्प्लीटली कम्प्लीटली मैंने स्टार्ट नहीं किया, चल रहा है, कभी कभी काम कर रहा है नहीं कर रहा है उसके लिए सीख रहा हूँ। कोल्ड ईमेल के लिए मैं बल्क में कोल्ड ईमेल सेंड करने को फिलहाल तो 200-300 पर डे कर रहा हूँ।
है ना? I thought कि you are not personalizing. Maybe. Okay, he's left. Okay, so anyone has any more questions? Like maybe Chelsea has some questions still there.
Yes, I'm
Chelsea,
still
you want to
here.
ask? Huh?
I'm still here. Like I just had that international one. Like I kind of was thinking to pitch a few international clients. So I was like, how does the work vary? Because some things are always fixed. You have to do the similar work, right? You have to pitch them, and you have to get them on board. You have to do the similar things that you do with other people. But I think I got the answer from Diksha is like majorly it's more of how well can you handle operations, like the time zone part, and majorly the research part. I think that was a really great insight that I didn't think of, is you have to do a lot of geographic geographic research for them, because it's like we are living in India, and it's like pretty much understandable for us. We can just get in a second like this is what is happening and this is what we are going to do with the client. But with international clients, I think the geographical research is very important that I didn't know of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Okay, so Sasank, go ahead. You want to ask something?
Yeah, thanks, Surya. First of all, thank you so much, Diksha, for sharing all your insights and experience with us all. So I have two questions basically. The very
Sure, go
first
ahead.
one is, what will be the three things that you'll recommend any freelancer to highly do that, or that a must do things. Okay, every freelancer should follow.
Yeah, Chelsea answered the first one, personal branding. Yeah. So yeah, obviously, first personal branding is the first thing, and the second is have some writing skills, communication skills in general, but especially writing skills, because you will be most probably dealing with the client through emails and chat and all that, right? Even if you have meetings and all. And the third thing is sales. Sales, as in, I'm not talking about the typical sales, but selling your services and selling yourself, right? That is also pretty important. So these are the top three things that I would recommend that almost every freelancer should have. And when I say writing, right, writing is not for the
Mhm.
typical, working on a freelance basis for writing, but writing in the sense that you're able to communicate your thoughts and put out, things in a proper way, right? So for that reason, writing is important. So you don't have to be a professional writer, but be a decent enough writer that you're able to communicate things to your client easily,
Right,
no
makes
Yeah.
matter
sense.
your niche. Yeah.
And a follow-up question for that is three things that a freelancer must not do.
Must not do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't give up easily. First thing. I mean, I'm not even saying that never give up. I also mentioned that you should know when you know that freelancing is not for you. But at the same time, don't give up too early. That is what I mean. Okay. Uh, you know, 2 3 महीने के लिए I tried out. I couldn't get it. I give up. Don't do that. That's what I mean, right? That is one thing. And second thing is that don't undervalue yourself and don't overvalue yourself also at the same time. People say a lot कि undervalue mat karo, but there are a lot of freelancers I've seen who overvalue themselves and end up not getting clients. In the sense कि
Mhm.
मुझे इतना ही price चाहिए, like this is what I will charge and I'm fixated to that no matter what. Okay, be a little flexible sometimes, but at the same time, don't undervalue कि इतना सारा काम कर दूंगी, but my the pay will be this much only. It's fine for me. Don't do that also. Be reasonable with whatever you have, and don't get too excited or too nervous. Both of them are bad. Okay. When you get too excited, you overpromise, right? When you get too nervous, you undervalue yourself. You don't show that confidence. You don't convey to the client that you're good enough when you are too nervous. So don't be either. I think these are the things you should avoid. Yeah, and rest of the things are mostly they're niche based. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you
Yes.
get your answer, Sasank.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you,
Yeah,
Diksha. Thanks for sharing.
Thank
yeah.
you.
So anyone has any more questions like in your mind? This is the time, guys. Anyone? Okay, so आपको vote
Um, घर में, people are calling me. That's the only thing. Rest all is fine. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope let's wrap up because I hope सब clear हो गया होगा. And so thank you so much, Diksha, for taking out some time. And
Thank you for hosting me. It was a great
thank you,
session.
thank you for the session. We learned something new, and thank you for your insights. And thank you everyone who is joining here and still there. Like a big salute.
Yeah. Thank you for staying. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye,
comment
everyone.
section में
Bye.
भूख लग रहा है कि बोल रहे हैं nobody is leaving the meeting also.
मुझे खाने जाना है.
No, nothing like that. Okay. Bye, everyone.
तो बाय. अभी नहीं जाएंगे, देख ले.
नहीं, मेरा मैस बंद हो जाएगा.
और आकाश हो क्या? हो या गया? है क्या आकाश? नहीं.
Yeah, Akash is there.
एक रेस्पॉन्स दे दो भाई, एक बोलना है तुझे.
Yeah, so आकाश लग रहा है ऑन करके चला गया.
हाँ लग तो ऐसे ही रहा.
By the way, Tejasvi, are you in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I'm in the community, yeah.
Okay, cool. Next session करना है?
Yeah,
अभी
definitely. You guys will be so bored up. I talk a lot.
हाँ सही रहेगा. So I was thinking like that only.
Sure,
हाँ
sure.
एक
Don't be.
एक डीएम कर देना ना प्लीज मेरे को लाइक सर्च करने में मेरे को थोड़ा सा
Yeah,
हेल्प
yeah,
हो जाएगा.
definitely. Ritin has been pushing me a lot for, building my portfolio. Like, but I have a lot of things which I have to gather it into one place. That is what Ritin is also constantly pushing me for. Like, कर दे एक दो तो
You
कर
should,
दे.
by the way, because ये वाला चीज is a little a lazy place. मतलब होता है. मतलब I have seen so many people right as of now for creating portfolios. So after you
Yeah,
create, you have a different type of confidence actually for
that,
creating fast portfolios and showcasing it and pitching, right? Oh, next
yeah.
level कर. Hi Shobhas, as you have joined the
भाई
meeting
मीटिंग तो
is
हो गया.
ended. The speaker has also gone.
You can DM her, Diksha Patro, not B.
Yeah, but her co-mate is here. Tejasvi is here. You can ask any
ए,
questions you want.
मेरा भी यही प्रॉब्लम है. प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क भी गैदर करना है बिकॉज एज यू नो फ्रीलांस का गिग्स भी बहुत सारे ऑलमोस्ट डेल्ट विद 8 डिफरेंट क्लाइंट्स इन इन सिंगल गो. तो बहुत सारे टेस्टिमोनियल्स है, प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क है, एक जगह तो लाना पड़ेगा। सो दैट इज व्हाट आई एम स्ट्रगलिंग विद, बिकॉज फुल टाइम का भी जॉब है, वही 7 o'clock तक मेरा
हाँ,
पड़ता
गॉट
है।
इट। जस्ट गिव इट लाइक 15 to 20 मिनट्स एवरी डे, देखना मतलब क्या बन जाता है। इफ यू
हाँ
वांट एनी
करना है।
हेल्प इन ग्राफिक्स, मेरे को बोलना, आई कैन आल्सो कोलैबोरेट विद यू, मेरा भी पोर्टफोलियो बनेगा।
या डेफिनेटली डेफिनेटली।